I always tell my closer friends and my family members is that, if I really do collapse because of a heart attack, there's nothing to be shocked about.
Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of Ask ZULA, and today we have a special guest on our segment. I think for our guest, if you see her on the streets, she just looks like an everyday person going through her everyday life, right? And I think that one of the special reasons as to why we invited her today is because she is an everyday person, but she is struggling with a medical condition. And I think personally in my social circle, I've never really encountered anyone who at your age has gone through something like this. And I'm pretty glad that we have this opportunity to interview her as well, to share a story. So everybody, let's welcome Yelin to the segment. Woohoo! Welcome. Yelin, you want to introduce yourself to everyone first?
Okay. Hi everyone, my name is Yelin. I'm actually 29, coming to 30 this year. And I'm working as an occupational therapist in the healthcare sector.
Nice. Yeah. What do you do at your job?
So basically, I work a lot with people of different age groups.
Okay.
Mainly doing more therapy and rehabilitation things. So basically, as an occupational therapist, we look more into a person's everyday life, what they do, and then we use their activities to rehabilitate them back to all these activities again.
So that your job seems to be like kind of like in healthcare in that sector, right?
Yes,
and
correct.
I did mention at the start that you had a medical condition, right? So maybe we do like a quick disclaimer to everyone who is watching the video first, like maybe you want to share with them what you were actually diagnosed with.
Okay, I'm diagnosed with what we call Takayasu Arteritis.
Okay.
It's an autoimmune condition where the body, for no reason, it attacks its own system. So basically, my immune system has gone haywire.
So this medical condition is also called cardiovascular disease.
Yes,
correct, right?
correct.
I mean, just from my general knowledge of that entire word, I would think it's associated with heart attacks. Am I correct to say, or what exactly would it be?
Cardiovascular disease is a general term for any heart condition.
Okay.
Yeah, but for mine, a lot of people understand cardiovascular disease as fatty deposits in the arteries itself, which may be due to various factors like your diet or even some people who smoke for many years.
Right.
But for myself, because it's an autoimmune condition, when the immune system attacks the body, it kind of, if you think of it as a fever, or rather a wound, when your skin tears, healing will take place.
Yeah.
And then the scars will come up after that.
Yeah.
So scars, for me, it forms inside rather than on the skin. And over time, these scars get thicker. And then over time, again, the arteries get smaller. Yeah.
So when did you find out about this, or like what was the instance where you realized there was something wrong, and that you wanted to go and check up on it?
Right. Basically, when I first found out about the symptoms, it was back in 2019. Yeah, I think I was 27 back then. So prior to all this, I like to exercise quite a fair bit, running for about like 3 to 4 times a week.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's more healthy than me.
Yeah, I was quite conscious of my health because working in a healthcare sector.
Okay.
I can kind of understand why we have to start taking care of ourselves when we are at a young age, so that we can avoid all these complications and chronic diseases when we are older. So before all this happened, I was watching what I ate. I was exercising quite regularly until end 2018.
Yeah.
I fell sick, but it was just a normal flu kind of sickness. And then fell sick, got well, which lasted until beginning of 2019.
Okay.
Then when I felt like I was better, I decided, okay, maybe it's time to start again because it's been quite a while since I last exercised.
Right.
Yeah, so 2019, I started running again. I took it slow because I knew it was already a while. But then when I started running again, I felt breathlessness. Yeah, and I felt some chest discomfort as well. My first thought was like, it's normal because not running for so long. I think the stamina,
it, right?
Yes, correct. The stamina has all gone down a little.
Correct.
But then the funny thing was, I told myself I'll monitor it, but then it lasted for quite a while. So it was more than, I think it was about 3 months.
Oh wow, that's quite long. Yeah.
Correct. I felt sick again. I went to the polyclinic, and then I told the doctor, oh, by the way, I have these symptoms when I'm exercising. And the funny thing about these symptoms is it doesn't happen or it doesn't occur when I'm going through my daily life.
Oh,
yeah,
okay,
like
okay,
so
okay.
I feel perfectly fine when I'm working,
Right.
or when I'm just doing things at home.
Right.
Yeah, but it's only when I exert myself then I felt those symptoms coming up. The doctor did a ECG. Basically, it was fine, but she was a bit worried because knowing that I was 27 and I was still young and I was still keeping up my health. So the polyclinic doctor referred me to a specialist in the NUH Heart Centre.
Okay.
Yeah, I went for my CT scan near end 2019. So then when we got back the results, we were quite shocked that that because our heart is made out of three, there are 3 arteries so 2 of them are blocked, and basically my heart was just relying on one of the vessels to work.
So, I mean, obviously, it's quite a lot to take in, right? If you go to a CT scan, then these are the results of your scan, right? So, what was your initial reaction, when at that point in time when you got the results?
Definitely I was quite shocked when the doctor gave me the results, because I went in expecting that it would be good. Yeah, because 27 years old, young and healthy, technically speaking. So when I went in alone, so when I went in alone and the doctor gave me that news, I didn't know, or rather I couldn't comprehend what he was saying, because I was like, why is the scan looking wrong or looking bad? It took me a while to kind of accept what was going on with me. Firstly, I saw it as something that was totally foreign from me. I didn't see it as a part of me. That was what made it so difficult to accept it in the first place. So when I got the results, I was trying to understand it by myself. I didn't really tell anyone about it. Only my parents knew, or my immediate family knew .
What was your parents' reaction? So you mentioned to your immediate family, right?
Correct.
How did they feel about this?
I think they were also quite shocked as well, because technically speaking, we didn't have any family history.
Because this kind, is it hereditary or?
Some of it, yes.
Okay.
So they were like, what in the world is this condition about?
They don't understand it.
Correct. So firstly, it's something that's attacking the heart, and then secondly, it's a body thing. So they were also trying to understand the anatomy side of it as well.
Actually, to me, right, when you mention autoimmune disease, all these kind of things, it actually sounds very scary in my opinion, because it seems like something can happen at any point in time, and especially because you mentioned it happens to your heart as well. So that's isn't it one of the most important vital organ of your life? Your entire being. So it's just so. If I were you, also I'll be in the position. I don't know how to wrap my head around it also, right? So just now I mentioned that something can happen at any point in time. Is that true? If you have this particular condition.
Like a heart attack?
Yeah, or any serious... Choi touch wood, I don't know if it's to flush the floor, but any serious thing could happen, at any time, because it sounds very it could potentially be like that.
Yes. Yeah. One thing I always tell my closer friends and my family members is that, if I really do collapse because of a heart attack, there's nothing to be shocked about, because it's not as if they don't know what has happened to me or what my condition is about . As much as I don't want it to happen, potentially there could be one. Correct.
For CVD, how common is it, would you say, as a medical condition? Do you know other people who have it, or is it kind of a rare condition to have?
So CVD itself is the number 1 killer in Singapore.
Okay.
It can actually happen to anyone of any age group, because a lot of people attribute CVD to older
age, right,
correct, or even middle-aged people. I think we've also probably seen on the news where some runners, they run and then they suddenly pass away because of a sudden heart attack. So it can actually happen to younger people as well.
After you were diagnosed and then you had to tell people about it, what was the treatment or the kind of like recovery journey, if you can call it that, like after the diagnosis?
Then we kick-started the treatment for myself. The cardiologist and the rheumatologist, they were actually working quite closely together already in the Women's Heart Health Clinic. And basically in this clinic, they work closely with women who want to or have plans to get pregnant in the future. Basically because with pregnancy there's always complications with the heart as well, and with heart conditions it will also affect pregnancy because it will make the pregnancy riskier. We did a couple of blood tests, everything was normal except one particular area, we call it an inflammatory marker, and for me that marker was quite high. And the doctor also did ask me whether I experienced any other symptoms prior to the breathlessness and the chest discomfort. Yeah, he tried to tick off all the symptoms that could possibly be for certain conditions.
Right.
I didn't give him a lot to go along with, like, because I really didn't experience too much of those. Yeah. So then, based on that inflammatory marker, he diagnosed me as Takayasu Arteritis, and I think that diagnosis came only around early 2020. He put me on a bout of steroid infusion first.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's big bags of steroids that's being pumped into the blood. That is supposed to bring down the inflammation that was going on in the body. Yeah, so after that bout of infusion, the inflammation markers did go down. And then we started a course of immunosuppressants.
Okay.
So basically this medication is supposed to continue to bring down the immune system.
Yeah.
Make it less feisty,
Like
in
not
a sense.
so angry,
Yeah,
want to
correct.
fight everything kind. Okay,
Correct.
understand.
Yeah.
Thanks for putting it in clear.
Correct. I went for a few different medications, two different medications plus steroid pills.
Okay.
And I told the doctor I didn't want to keep being on steroids because steroids itself actually has a lot of negative side effects. The doctor was like, alright, then he will taper down the steroids, and then we tried different immunosuppressant pills.
Okay.
Yeah, but not all of them worked. So basically when the markers were still not so good, he put me on another kind of infusion.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's another few rounds of pumping medicine into the blood system. But then it was still not really responding.
Right.
Yeah, so my treatment is still ongoing actually.
Okay.
I'm on another newer infusion medication plus an immunosuppressant. So yeah, just going through that whole process of hoping that medications will work, and then seeing not work. I think that was quite a roller coaster for me.
Yeah. How would that affect you mentally? I mean, I can only imagine like the amount of like stress it could be for you also, because it's like every time they give you like a good promising option, then it's like it doesn't work out, then it's just like you feel very like yeah, correct. So how is that like, for your mental health, like was it very challenging for you?
It was challenging even before treatment started. Having that whole process of asking why did this happen to me, why me in the first place, so what's going to go on from here onwards. Basically I felt that my whole life trajectory was just thrown out of the window. And then I had to adapt myself and try to fit into a new life trajectory lah. So then when I finally started opening up to my friends again, it was still challenging, basically because sometimes I did felt hopeless. That the medications weren't working lah. But thank God for friends, I guess. They were quite supportive of me, including my parents as well. So all of them were trying to pray for me, just telling me to keep my spirits up. And I think a lot of it is also on my part, that I have to have a change in perspective, so not to keep thinking about the negative and to try to stay on the positive track.
You mentioned your perspective on life change and like your whole trajectory in life change, right? Could you like share with us a little bit more about how it really affected you in detail?
Okay. Basically, let's say if I were a normal person, I'm a woman, right?
Yeah.
I wouldn't even have to think about what I would tell my partner or my husband in the future. Things like pregnancy in the future as well. Finances, because you have to pay for medication. So once I knew about this condition, I think there were a lot of things to consider in terms of, if I were to ever find someone, how would the person react? Would the person be even accepting of what's going to happen, or would the person even be open to not having children in the future if I can't have children? And would the person even be supportive in a sense? So then there are more things for me to not say stress over, but more things for me to think about rather than just I find a partner, that's it.
Right, okay.
But I think in terms of friends and other family members, it will be slightly easier.
It's okay, I didn't see anything.
It'll be slightly easier because the friends that I have are really within my close social circle. And I know they know me and I know them. They are quite understanding of what's happening. And also in terms of exercise itself, I used to think that, oh man, I wouldn't be able to exercise anymore because sometimes my doctor did tell me you have to be a bit careful, maybe just try to stop exercising first, just to make sure that everything is okay.
Right.
I also realized that, if exercising is really a big part of my life. If I stop exercising entirely, this is one of the revenue where I relieve stress.
Right.
But then I told myself, okay, I have to have that change in perspective, change in mindset. So I think the very main thing is not to stop myself or anyone, if anyone is suffering from this, from doing the things that you like to do. That's definitely not going to be good for your mental well-being. But rather you have to listen to your doctor first, weigh your options, and then also you have to see what you can do.
I mean, in terms of, like the cost-wise of your treatment and everything, I don't know how this works, but I'm just curious to know, like, if such a rare condition exists and maybe there's not really any treatment that can resolve it currently, like what you are mentioning, like how do you cope with like dealing with that financially for yourself?
I do worry that I wouldn't be able to afford further infusions, but then it's me overthinking things sometimes, because definitely there will be things like your insurance claims, if you are working, you got your company benefits which you can claim from. So there are actually options to where NUH Heart Centre actually funds your treatment. The doctors will actually refer you to, or rather patients who need it, to a social worker, and then the social worker will look through the finances, and then they'll see what kind of funds are appropriate for the patient or the person themselves.
Right.
So from what I understand, I think there's a heart fund that NUH itself has.
I think that's pretty good that there are options for that also. What was kind of like the hardest part of this whole process since like 2019?
Hardest part of the whole process. Actually, the whole thing is very hard.
Can only imagine this.
I think the hardest part was the fact that COVID happened. And a circuit breaker happened.
Like going through that period of isolation.
Correct. Yes, even though my parents were there, my family was there. Actually, my parents were quite supportive in terms of accompanying me for my doctor's appointments and sometimes my infusions as well. But the fact that for myself, I actually I'm a person who wants to understand what is going on in my head first, what's happening in my life first before I talk to people about it. So then when that whole circuit breaker incident happened, it was a good 2 months. I didn't really have anyone to share it to, even though yes, some people can say, oh, got Zoom, got all the technology that you can call your friends and stuff like that. I'm a person who likes to share face to face. So I'd rather have that personal touch with my friends. So then the fact that I wasn't ready to open up back then, and the fact that isolation was happening, I think that was the hardest for me lah.
Yeah. So at the end of the day, you are kind of still going through the process as of now lah. There's no like cure for it exactly yet, right?
Honestly speaking, I don't know what's after this if this infusion can't work. I will just have to see what my doctor says and then, work from there. If he asks me to go back to steroids again, I may not want to go back. I also wouldn't want to do a heart operation, basically because firstly, I'm young.
Yeah.
And secondly, the doctor did mention that they want to go conservative with me, so that means nothing, no operation, but just medications to manage the heart rate and blood pressure first.
Okay.
Why they didn't want to do a operation is because mine is an autoimmune condition, so if they put something extra or foreign inside,
it will also attack.
it will
the thing,
trigger.
right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
understand.
we just have to take it step by step. Yeah, and then see what the future holds for me.
How is it dealing with that kind of uncertainty?
It was very hard at first, because I'm a kind of person who works towards a goal. Yeah,
okay.
so if I don't have a goal to work towards to, then it's very hard to see where this thing ends.
Yeah.
I wanted it to end, but there was no end.
So you wanted like a step by step on
Yes.
like how I can do 1 to 10 and then like I reach an ending.
Yes,
to resolve this, right?
Yes, correct.
So as you mentioned, it's still like an ongoing process.
Yes.
But so far, what are like the biggest takeaways that you had from this whole life-changing experience, I would say?
I think firstly, before all this happened, I feel it's very important for a person to understand what are the possible symptoms to any chronic conditions.
Okay, yes.
Yeah, knowing what's normal and what is not normal. Yeah, so if you know that normally, you walk, when you do long distance walking or even long distance running, you don't feel breathless, you don't feel a chest discomfort.
Yeah.
That's normal for you.
Yeah.
But once you start feeling these kind of things, even at a young age, then that should raise some alarm bells. Yeah, and I think that I don't hold it off.
Yeah.
Because it's like, oh, I'm young, I don't have to go and see a doctor.
Right.
Yeah, there shouldn't be anything wrong with me. I think that's the first mistake you would make. Yeah, correct. If you don't go and see a doctor early, because then you cannot catch the condition or the problem in time. You'll just worsen it lah. Yeah. And the second thing is build up your social circle, or rather your social support. It can be your friends, it can be your family members. Just talk to someone, don't bottle everything up. And then, once you understand all this, when you finally go on treatment, monitor your body. Don't feel like the world has ended, because it has not ended. Life still goes on. Yes, there probably are certain things that you can't do anymore. Like for me, because I like to eat raw stuff like sushi and things like that. Yeah, I can't eat especially sashimi. Yeah, that's very sad, correct?
Understand. I mean, raw food.
If I go Japan next time, I can't really
You have to eat the cooked salmon, you can't eat the raw salmon. Okay, understand.
Yes.
Oh no, okay, understand.
Yeah, but like sushi cooked, that's fine.
Yeah,
but it's just
aburi sushi is fine.
aburi, I will still take it with a pinch of salt.
Yes,
but
understand. Okay.
Some things you do have to forgo. I think that you have to understand. But
I think you kind of like summarized the whole video very well. So thank you, Yelin, for being on today's episode. Thank you, and for sharing your story with everybody. It's kind of eye-opening experience for me also, like to know more about this condition you have, and like your advice to people as well, and how you're coping this. I think hopefully you'll help someone out there as well. So thank you for sharing, and I would also like to thank National University Heart Centre Singapore, or NUHCS, for making this video possible. And as Yelin mentioned, if you guys would like to find out more about Women's Heart Health Clinic at NUHCS, you can check out the link in the description box for more information as well. And also let us know what you would like to see on future episodes of Ask ZULA, or if you liked anything about this video, leave it in the comment section down below. And as always, don't forget to like, share and subscribe, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.